Hello, my name is Aaron and today we're reviewing Uno Ultimate Marvel. I'll be going over the gameplay as well as the pros and cons, and in my final thoughts I'll talk about whether or not I think there's a good game in here or if this is just another blatant cash grab. Alright, so whether or not you like Uno or despise it, Uno Ultimate mixes things up. Granted, you're still matching colors and numbers, but one of the major changes in the gameplay in this game is the fact that you have your own unique deck. So each hero has their own unique player power and a separate deck. You are not sharing a draw pile. That also means that each character has their own set of fun, unique wild cards that have special powers on them. Not only that, but another change is the fact that there is a danger deck. The danger deck contains villains, items, and other events that could help or hinder your progress. And so these are two things that definitely mix up the formula a bit. Whether or not I think that's a good thing, we'll talk about right now. So the first positive I have to say about Uno Ultimate is that I really like the changes that it makes to the Uno formula. Granted, it is still very much Uno at its core. However, the game adds those individual player decks and the danger deck, which are personalized to each hero, and it makes the plays feel more unique. And even though it's still Uno at its core, it adds those special wild cards and items that make it feel like you have more influence over the outcome of the game, even if it's still kind of just a random chance event. However, sometimes in a lightweight card game, even just the feeling of having choice is important and can improve the game, and I would argue that it does in this instance. Another thing that I liked is the art, for the most part. There are a few exceptions. I think Captain Marvel has some awkward poses, but the art is good. I believe the card backs are original artwork. However, the artwork on the front of the cards that you'll see when you play the game is taken from a variety of different comics, and I think that's kind of a cool aspect. For some, it might seem disjointed. However, for me, I would much rather see comics art than just movie screenshots. It's a lot better in my opinion. So with that, let's get into what I didn't like. So what do I dislike about this game? Well, for one, it's a maximum of 4 players. Granted, you can buy more decks and play with more players theoretically. However, I'm not sure about the balancing and how that would play out, because I have only played with 4 players, even though I have 8 decks. So I'm sure you could, and it's Uno, so it's not super serious anyway. However, you might run into some balancing issues with certain characters in that event. Another thing I don't like is this right here in the corner, which is foil chasers. I just think it's a stupid cash grab move, and that really shouldn't have been the case. Because also, I don't think I've seen any of the expansions for this. I've only ever seen the core set. So if you've seen the expansion somewhere out there that isn't eBay, let me know in the comments, because I haven't seen any expansion decks for this game in any store that I've been to. So those are my dislikes. Let's get into my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on Uno Ultimate is I actually enjoyed this one. Now, I'm taking it at face value for what it is, right? It's not trying to be this intricate hobby game like Marvel Legendary or something. This is an introductory game for people who like Marvel or love Marvel. If you don't like Marvel, obviously this isn't for you. You're probably not going to enjoy it. I am not a super huge fan. Like, I like the movies, I enjoy them, but I would not call myself a diehard fan. However, I still enjoy this game. It also makes it accessible to a wider audience. So if you're having friends or family over and they enjoy the Marvel flicks, then you can pull this out and say, hey, it's kind of like Uno with a couple changes. And that should go over well. However, if you don't like Marvel, obviously, you could get the DC one or just, not get it. However, if you dislike Uno, this isn't going to change your mind. It's not going to turn it into some amazing game experience. It's still very much Uno. I was lucky enough to pick these up on clearance, so that's why I own it. And depending on where you live in the world, you might be able to pick it up at a discount as well, because I believe they're coming out with the second base set or something at this point in time. So that is Uno Ultimate. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I hope to see you again in another video. Take care.